accelerated with the correct persuasion in the proper quarters. Strange to think they were almost out of their teens already. How the years slipped by. Their mother, Angelina, my kidnapped treasure, was as beautiful as ever. As for myself, I may be older, but I am no wiser. The gray in my hair has not affected the lust for gold in my heart. I did not waste a moment as I mumbled to myself nostalgically, throwing on my clothes, kicking on my boots, stowing away about my person a number of lethal and technological devices. I dropped into the garage even as I closed the last closure. My bright red Firebomb 8000 exploded into the drive as the door snapped open and hurtled down the road, scattering the dull citizens of the peaceful planet of Blotchet in all directions. The only reason we had settled on this bucolic world was to be near the boys while they were at school. I would be delighted to leave the place without a backward glance. Not only had it all the boredom of an agricultural planet, it was also infested by an octopus-like bureaucracy. Since it was centrally located among a number of star systems and boasted a salubrious climate, the bureaucrats and league administrators had moved in to create a secondary economy of government offices. I prefer the farmers. The farms gave way to trees as I burned down the road, then to the barren rock hills. There was a chill in the air at this altitude that went with the somber stone cliffs, and when I whisked around the final turn, the damp morning perfectly matched the rough finish of the high stone wall ahead. As the spiked portcullis rumbled slowly upward, I admired, not for the first time, the letters hacked into the black slab of steel by the entrance. Dorsky Military Boarding School and Penitentiary. That my dear twins had to be incarcerated here. As a father, I felt concern. As a citizen, I suppose it was a blessing. What I thought was just good spirits in the lads, the rest of the world tended to frown upon. Before coming here, they had been expelled from a total of 214 schools. 3 of these schools had burned down under mysterious circumstances. Another had blown up. I had never believed that the mass suicide attempt of all the senior masters at another school had anything to do with my boys, but vicious tongues will wag. In any case, they had finally met their match, if not their master, in old Colonel Dorsky. After being forcefully retired from the military, he had opened the school and put his years of service, experience, and sadism to work. My boys had reluctantly gained an education, served their term, and in a few days would face the graduating ceremonies and parole. Only now things would have to be accelerated just a little bit. As always, I reluctantly surrendered my weapons, was X-rayed and spy-beamed, locked through the multiple automatic doors, and released into the inner quad. Dispirited figures shuffled by, beaten down by the school's foolproof and escape-proof system. But there ahead, crossing the ferro-concrete artificial grass, were 2 upright and brisk figures, unbent by any despair. I whistled shrilly, and they dropped their books and ran up to greet me warmly. After which I rose slowly to my feet and dusted myself off, then proved that an old dog can still teach the pups a trick or two. They laughed as they rubbed their sore spots and stood up again. They were a bit shorter than I was, taking after their mother there, but soundly muscled and handsome as gods. Many a girl's father would be out buying a shotgun after they were released from school.
"What was that bit with the arm and elbow, Dad?"
James asked. Explanations can wait. I am here to accelerate your graduation because something not too nice has happened to your mother. Their grins vanished on the instant, and they leaned forward alertly, drinking in every word as I explained what I had seen, nodding in agreement. Right then, Bolivar said, "We go stir up old Dirty Dorsky and get out of here. And do something about it," James added, finishing the sentence. They did this often, many times thinking as one. We marched, in step at a good double time of 120 paces to the minute, through the great hall and past all the skeletons in chains, up the main staircase, splashing through the water running constantly down it, and into the head's office. "You can't go in there," his secretary bodyguard said, surging to his feet, 200 kilos of trained fighting flesh. We scarcely slowed and only broke step going over his unconscious body. Dorsky looked up growling when we came through the door, gun ready in his fist. "Put it away," I told him. "It is an emergency and I have come for my sons a few days early. Would you be so kind as to give them their graduation certificates and expiration of term-served papers?" "Go to hell, no exceptions, get out of here," he suggested. I smiled at the unswerving gun and decided that explanation would be more fruitful than violence. "This is a bit of an emergency."